Did you happen to accidentally AFK by an obelisk? Or maybe you equipped a weapon or a helmet you possibly shouldn't have, and now you're looking like a delicious corrupt gremlin. Corruption can be very handy if you are a sorcerer or wishing to do some corrupted stat points. That's all a guide for another time. If you aren't keen on being super corrupty, there is something you can do about it. In fact, a couple of somethings. One of my favorite ways to get rid of early game corruption is to come over to Sepimeru, as it's a fairly friendly city unless you attack people. They won't attack you if they're wearing the relic hunter armor. If they are dressed in other stuff like these guys up here, they might attack you. Anyway, I digress. Don't go further than this building indicated with the little red banner. We're in 7B. Go in here. You can meet Conan. This is where he is located. Get a little story of him if you want. You can talk to Princess. She's the lady who used to be getting sacrificed over at Mechamosis's Spire. A little bit of lore there. Read a book, talk to a guy, get some beverages, but don't wander around all here if you want to get rid of your corruption, because the closer you are to this spot here is actually going to cure you. They are not the dancers here that is curing your corruption, but the house itself. It is also a good spot to always find tier 3 dancers. It's not too bad as they're the only ones really in aggro distance. Sometimes these guys out here might aggro, but you do have this wall of stools to help you kill them and knock these guys out pretty easy. But you will slowly lose your corruption very, very slowly. If you're on an aggressive server, it's a bit risky as people tend to frequent Sepimeru, but a great option if you don't have a dancer. On a multiplayer server, you can also use other people's dancers or acquire your own through taming. Another great way to acquire a dancer is head on over to Flotsam. You may be familiar with the merchant down here that you can buy alchemists and fighters from, but a little bit further up in this N7 area, you can climb up this banner pretty easily to get up there. I lie, it's not that easy. I'm here. If you are lacking on stamina due to corruption, it could be a little bit harder to climb that cliff all the way up. There are aggressive guys up here who may attack you, but there's plenty of little rest spots. Make your way past this aggressive guy, and next to Shamala, just here, we'll find this guy, and for 100 gold we can buy ourselves a mercenary entertainer. And even if it's a tier 1, she'll still cure your corruption, and they're a fighter, so you can get them to follow you and fight some stuff. They're not a very good fighter, but they will cure yours and your enemy's corruption. So if you're fighting a lot of sorceress people using corruption builds, that is one way to help handle it. A little bit more difficultly, we can try and find a Heart of a Hero. I have a separate guide going through Hearts of Heroes and where to find all the different dancer spawns too. Well, maybe not all of them, but my favorite spots to find dancers. So check those videos out in the about section or the link comment. You can come here to the unnamed city and find a bunch of these dudes. Occasionally you will also get some of their Silent Legion. They hit pretty hard, so it's not a great place to come if you are looking to get rid of your noob corruption, but eating one of these Hearts of a Hero will cure your corruption when you are not in admin mode. I'm in admin mode, so it didn't cure my corruption. Well, creative mode specifically, not admin mode. But if you would like something a little bit more on the go that you can put in your pocket, you can come and get the cleansing brew recipe from Cooking 3. Inside this little hut at Mounds of the Dead, right on the floor. These dudes are aggressive usually, so be prepared. Sometimes there's a Delincia, sometimes there's a Berserker fighter. Fetch this book, get your recipe, get your story. I believe at the summoning place, we can learn corrupting brew and corrupt ourselves by eating it, which is handy for sorcery on the go. But if we eat the cleansing brew, it will cleanse us for a lot more than what we actually get corrupted, which is nice. Our last but most difficult to get option, but the handiest if you happen to have a lot of people using corruption weapons, like the Yog's Touch. When I hit you, you're going to get a little bit corrupted in that. You can wear something like the Champion Leggings. Doesn't immediately say anything, but if you go into the info, it will say it removes corruption from the wearer. So if you do happen to wear these as a strength build pant and you are noticing you're not gaining corruption, that's probably why. I do tend to wear them all of the time because I like to stupidly AFK in corruption-y spots and just not getting corruption, which is nice. And they are a little bit better once crafted with an armorer. You can learn that recipe at Khalil's Stronghold. I have a whole dungeon guide also going to be linked in those comments. Feel in my waters that I am forgetting an option to get uncorrupted, but predominantly those are the best and easiest options. A dancer being the most obvious, but if you can't get your hands on one of those or any gold, visit Conan's house. If you're a bit fancier, you're harvesting hearts for making various different bindings or yeti farmings, you can eat those. They're good for in your pocket. They do expire, so put them in a fridge, or make yourself some cleansing brews or some champion pants. The options are out there. If one of them isn't working for you, try another, as they tend to be available at different times too in the game. Go forth, exile, and cleanse your soul of that corruption and start to look much less veiny and gremlin-esque. If you found this information informative, smash that like button. If you're not already, consider subscribing. Stick around for one of my other helpful guides, or check out those ones in the linked comment. Until next time, I hope you have an excellent day, evening, night, morning, whatever it may be, wherever you may be. Have a good one.